You guys have a new album called Translation. It's like a tribute to Latino modern music. It does have a lot of Spanish, but also very important Latino guests like J Balvin, Ozuna, Maluma, Shakira, Nicky Jam. So maybe we can try to do like something like kind of bilingual Spanish. I don't know, un poquito de mezcla de idiomas porque sé que cada uno tiene su propio level del idioma. Pero first, before we talk about translation, I'd like to ask you guys that isn't it like kind of weird that the previous album you made, Masters of the Sun Volume One, was very related to everything that's happening right now, but now you have an album that is more like a have a party kind of vibe, you know. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, because you never know what's going to happen here in this country. But how do you feel about this? Do you feel like, of course, you want people to enjoy this and have some fun, but at the same time, it's kind of strange, right? That the previous one was so political and not this one.
Yeah. So when you write songs like Street Living, that's a you know a commentary of what's been happening to Black and brown teenagers for the past 100 years. You know, more than 100 years. We've been dealing with like police brutality and no opportunities and being treated as less of a citizen, all the way from the rules and the laws and the zoning. You know, when you write songs like Street Living, you don't have to write it twice.
Mm.
You know, when you have songs like Ring the Alarm, you don't have to write it twice. When you have songs like Where's the Love from Elephant, you don't have to write it twice. So now that we've like let out like these perspectives and how we feel, because as a black man in America, that's been happening my whole life. And it's good that people are, you know, are now aware of what's been going on and they have empathy. That's amazing that people, you know, are standing in solidarity. But for Black people in America, this has been our whole, it's not just my life, it's my mom's life. My grandma experienced the same thing, but worse, my grandma's. So, you know, at this point in time, before the George Floyd murder, you know, we were all just trying to figure out how we survived through quarantine because of COVID. You know, and because everybody was at home, they didn't have any distractions but to pay attention to what was going on in the Black community when they saw George Floyd get murdered. That being said, you cannot deny people with light and joy. You still have to give people some type of like, you know, hope, even through a song that tomorrow is going to be festive. I know it's thick right now. I know it's tough right now, but tomorrow's going to be okay. You know, we will get through this hurdle. There will be justice. You know, there will be equality. There will be police reform. We just have to get through this growing pain, and there is joy around the corner. And just to give you proof of that, here's our optimistic spirit in translation.
So the I know that you guys already have previously a song in a full song in Spanish that was called like Zumbao, that was released like 6 years ago. But why did you decide at this point to make an album that is like so oriented to the Latino market?
So Zumbao was just something that I was proud to make in 2014 prior to me getting diagnosed with cancer. But, you know, it's like I always made a joke, like, I want to take over the Latin market. I want to be part of the Latin market. Growing up as a Mexican, you know, I always wanted to contribute and do my part. And fortunately, Black Eyed Peas as a trio, we've been doing this since we started. You know, Latin influence has always been part of our DNA, music, you know, from our earlier work to our collaborations with artists like Juanes, to Paulina Rubio, to Daddy Yankee. We'll work with Daddy Yankee. He worked with Joan Sebastian. So this is just a natural transition for all of us to make an album like this, a body of work where we focus and we celebrate Latino culture as vibrant, as joyful, as, you know, celebratory in these times where we could have made an album where it was dark and like about what's happening. But this is our contribution, not only to the Latino community to say thank you, but also to the world to say, like, we want to uplift your spirits with joyous type music, celebratory music. And if that's our contribution, that's what Black Eyed Peas is all about. It's like, how do we contribute?
¿Cómo fue el proceso de, how was the process of just like selecting the guests and then, I don't know, contacting them and telling them and recording? Because I suppose that they record in different places and everything, ¿no? Pero me imagino que se grabó quizás de manera un poco remota. ¿Cómo fue la selección de los artistas? ¿Cómo se contactaron con ellos? ¿Cómo fue ese proceso?
Yeah, so you know, as you know, as an artist, you can't always you know, you have to let go of your ego and, like, you know, expecting everything is always the same. You always gotta approach it like always hungry about it. So you know, I was in Philippines, but if I was able to go, Taboo and will.i.am went to the Billboard Latin Awards and took a Southwest flight to meet J Balvin and Anita to just ask them if they want to collaborate, you know, because really we're really a big fan of them. And then you know, we met Ozuna in New York. We were doing the Macy Day Parade, and we stayed in the same hotel, and we saw him in the lobby. And you know, we're a big fan of Taki Taki. Like, you know, we're like, and so we just asked him if he wants to collaborate with us. And then, you know, 2 months later, via internet, we finally matched our schedule and we did a song together. And Becky G has worked with will.i.am when she was like 14 years old. And so she's been around us, and she's like our little sister. And she actually inspired us to, like, you know, to reach out just from artist to artist through DMs, you know, because she's like doing it herself. And she's like, how do you, you know, like, how do you connect with all these artists? She's like, well, I just DM everybody. So you should just do the same thing, you know? So we DM'd like we'll DM Nicky Jam, and then we like DM El Alfa, and you know, just reaching out from like artist to artist, you know.
Y los artistas que trabajamos en el estudio fue Piso 21. Ellos vinieron al estudio, hicimos 2 canciones. Y también Maluma. Maluma fue el primer artista que trabajamos en el estudio de Black Eyed Peas. Y hicimos una amistad con todos los artistas.
Entonces sí se han arriesgado un poquito entrando al estudio con otra gente, sí. Como en la época de la pandemia, sí decidieron entrar al estudio.
No, pues esto era antes de la pandemia. Esto era antes. Como, sí, antes de la pandemia. Y grabamos 2 videos antes que fuimos a la cuarentena. Era Vida Loca con Nicky Jams y Tyga. Y también grabamos a Mamacita con Ozuna y J. Ray Soul.
Pero el nuevo video con el Alfa, Mañana, ese sí parece que se ha hecho hace poco, pero como que están separados, ¿no? En diferentes playas.
He's asking, did we record the El Alfa video recently, and were we all separated?
Yeah, this was all, so El Alfa was on a beach in Dominica, and Black Eyed Peas, we were on a beach in Malibu. And everything else is green screen magic.
Oh, really? Okay. And talking about that song with El Alfa, it's interesting because I think it's the first one that you like using like subtitles in Spanish, subtitles in English, just, you know, whatever somebody speaks in a different language.
That was fresh.
But there's something very curious. For example, when El Alfa says something about Perico, that is like Perico is like, go, birds. I mean, were you trying to do like change his words?
Tony Montana.
Who made that translation? I mean, Perico is not bird.
No,
For the kids, man. It's for the kids.
we censored the.
We
So he
censored it.
worked for the kids, what would he say?
No, I think it was. I think it would be. It's funny to have people that are paying attention. You know, this was
Yeah.
only people to pay attention of.
Connoisseurs.
Yeah.
So, what will be your next single? Because there's plenty of interesting things here. There's one song with Shakira, for example, when you will tell her that esta latina está rica. So that's the Spanish that you need to know, right? To just like esta latina está rica. That's a good one.
Yeah, I learned that. So I have a classic story. So I grew up in an all-Mexican neighborhood.
Yeah.
And originally the original lyric was, you call me mijo, I call you mija. So she says, Will, this makes sense, but this is a Mexican saying.
Yeah,
but
it's not
for
Colombian.
tios to their little nieces and nephews, this isn't for a guy that likes a girl, mijo, mija. So she suggested esta la chica está rica.
There's this song News Today that is musically different than the rest of the songs. It specifically talks about like the COVID-19. I mean, you're like giving recommendations in order to avoid the virus. You mentioned a certain person who talk about injecting disinfectants. So and that's something interesting too, because of course it was composed before what is going on right now, but it mentioned the phrase like I can't breathe. So that's a very intense song, right? That's a very emotional song. And it's just like different than the rest of the album, but that was intentional, obviously, to make something different there.
Yeah, so that song was we needed that on the album. You know, we can't just Black Eyed Peas. We could never just do a party album without having songs that reflect what's going on. We had the Union on. We had Union on Monkey Business. We had One Tribe on the end.
We had Third Eye on Elefunk.
Third Eye we had on Elefunk. We had we always have a song that reflects the times, and so putting the News Today was really, really important for us. And I Can't Breathe, it was a combination of like COVID-19 affects your lungs. At the same time, you know, Black people in the hood have been choked by police officers, not just George Floyd.
To finish, just asking something again to Will. I know that it's been like particularly hard for you this year. First Kobe Bryant, then the virus, then of course all this like madness, the police brutality. What I don't know. What are you guys like thinking about, like writing about this? As you say, you've done it already, but how do you feel about the future in terms of performing in the middle of this situation? What do you think is your role right now as artists in the middle of everything that is happening?
Our role is as artists, as men, as citizens, as philanthropists, as people, is to inspire, to bring joy, and do work in your community. So I right now, I don't think it's time for celebrity to speak out. it's time for people that have the ability to do and take action and join the folks, whether you are protesting, risking your life. Think about every single person that went out there, were protesting. They haven't worked for 3 months. So if you don't work for 3 months, you're worried about how you're going to feed your family.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're worried about getting sick and taking care of yourself because you haven't worked for 3 months. So you maybe your insurance is questionable, and you still go out and protest. And there's no vaccine. Think about what people, regular people, them going out and protesting right now. So is it time for celebrity or people that are famous to write a song and do a freaking like a video like, I care, I really care? No, it is not. That's not right now. Right now, you do work, and if you have done work, you continue to amplify your work. So the work that we do in our neighborhoods. So this year I had a graduating class in the ghetto that I'm from in Boyle Heights. So our kids go to Stanford. I got kids going to UCLA. Last year, some of my kids went to Brown and Dartmouth. But now I want to take that program that I've been doing for 11 years to other communities of color that need to be prepared for tomorrow. So right now, that's what I think we need to be doing more of. Apple has a school in the Philippines, and the work that he's done out there, there's communities or a small community here in America that could use some light and some assisting. There's you have proof of success there. So we're gonna apply ourselves in that way, because I don't think we could write another Where's the Love that's better than Where's the Love, that makes people feel united like Where's the Love. I don't think we could write another song like Street Living that just talks exactly to the point on why things are happening and what's happening. The video damn near is like a snapshot of what's going on. You would have thought we wrote that yesterday, Street Living, and the video. Or the video Forget It, you would have thought we made that last week. But these are things that we've done in 2018, songs we've written in 2015. And so right now it's about do. You gotta do work, you gotta donate, and you can't spell donate without do.